Hi everyone, welcome to class. This is lazy yin. I think yin is perfect for when your body is stiff and you know you need to stretch, but you just don't want to do a yoga practice. It just feels like too much for the brain, too much for the body. This is when I think yin yoga really comes into its own. And this is I was going to say it's all reclined, but obviously it's all reclined because it's yin. We have like one seated pose, otherwise everything is lying down. I've got a couple of blocks. You could use a bolster or some pillows, and I've got a strap as well to make it really properly lazy. I'm even doing it in jeans. David challenged me to do a yoga class in these jeans. So, I mean, they're stretchy. They're not like that stretchy, so we'll see how we go. But the point is, this is something you can just drop and do, and hopefully it really helps with just giving you a little bit more ease in your body even when you can't face any other kind of movement. Okay, let's come down. First pose will be supported bridge. I don't know why I still have my socks on. I'm going to take my socks off and rub that bit of mud off my ankle from dog walking. 1 or 2 blocks, up to you how much support you want underneath your pelvis. And I'm literally just going to do low level on my block underneath your tailbone so that your lumbar spine is free. And then I'm going to grip the edges of the mat and just inch my shoulders away until I can really feel I've got that nice length through my spine. Bring your feet in somewhere where you feel you have a slight pelvic tilt. So rather than the kind of the anterior, you've got that sense of lengthening for your tailbone. And then see if you can just let your arms flop at the sides, maybe palms up, feeling the shoulder heads rolling back in the sockets and your scapula moving down your back. A little relaxation of the jaw. See if you can drop it open, let your tongue relax in your mouth, a little bit of a gap between your teeth. Your lips might be closed or they might be lightly parted. Maybe you just start by tuning in with what you can hear around you. What do you notice close to you? You might hear the sound of your own breath, and the little gurgles in the body. Maybe that little gentle background hum of any like electrical equipment, like a fridge or TV. Maybe the boiler. The clock in the room. And then noticing what you can hear a little bit further away, maybe outside the room, just outside the windows maybe. Can you name the sounds that you can hear? Can you identify where they are in relation to you? And then further away still, perhaps out in the street or in the streets beyond you. Maybe you're lucky enough to live somewhere where you can hear cows or sheep or birds. And then gently bringing your attention back towards the closeness around your body. Maybe taking a couple of big sighs. And let's press the feet to the ground to lift up enough to take that prop out. You might want to take any little wiggles or dropping the knees side to side or drawing them into the chest. And then grabbing hold of your strap or whatever you're using, just loop it around the ball of one foot, where obviously I'm starting on my right, we're going to do both. And you might like to boxer wrap the strap, so you kind of wrap it around so that there's a tension there, you do less work with your arms. And we're just going to take a little hamstring stretch. So again, just think about a nice long tailbone to spine, little pull on the leg, drawing it a little bit more towards you so you feel that nice stretch down the back of the hamstring, but not so much that you're having to really drag it there. You just want that little feeling of stretch without having to work too much. Back of the head is comfortable on the mat. The left foot is just there for support, keeping your pelvic floor nice and soft. And this time, let's keep our eyes open and just see what we can see in the periphery of our vision, moving the eyes up, looking back behind you, without moving your head, but just allowing the eyes to wander to the top right and over to the side, and down, bottom right, towards your nose, and over bottom left, over to the left, top left, up towards the ceiling, and then blinking a few times, and then just let your eyes wander within that periphery and just see what catches your attention. Maybe you notice colors standing out or shapes, the play of light on the ceiling maybe. And allow your eyes to just linger on anything that feels interesting to you. Taking another nice big breath here. And gently release the strap. Stretch that leg long. And then let's lift the hips a little bit towards the right and walk both heels towards the bottom left corner of the mat, maybe looping the right heel over the left so you get this IT band stretch, and you can lift your shoulders, bring them towards the top left of the mat. And you might just rest your arms down, or you might bring them overhead and hold onto the right wrist with the left hand so that you're in a banana. Thinking about this right hip will want to lift up, see if you can really press it down. And this will change, obviously, the angle of your view. So maybe you can just let your eyes wander now into what you can see now with your head slightly tilted. Maybe you can see things from a different angle. And enjoy this big breath into the right side of the body while the rib cage and the intercostals are spread out from the stretch. You can breathe into that fascia. Gently unwind first the shoulders. Oh, then the legs. That's my IT band. Bring the hips back into the middle. And again, just take any little twists or lifting the knees in, hugging them in. And then let's just go to the other side. So the strap will loop around the ball of the left foot. Maybe you do your little boxer wrap. Find your hamstring stretch. Nice long spine, relaxed shoulders. Right foot's just there for balance. Notice if tension is creeping in, that feeling that you ought to be stretching. And just try and come back to letting the strap do the work. This is working on tendons and ligaments and fascia, not muscles. So we're relaxing as much as possible. And let's just take that periphery of our vision again, looking up towards the top of the vision. Maybe noticing if you've got a little bit more now. And let's go to the top left this time. And over to the left. And down towards the left. And then straight ahead down towards your nose. And towards bottom right. Over to the right. Up, top right. And then back behind you again, and then taking a couple of big blinks. And this time just let's let the eyes relax back in the sockets. Just really soften your gaze. Maybe finding one spot on the ceiling to just gently gaze at. Relaxing your jaw, relaxing your mouth, your teeth, your tongue, your shoulders, your tummy, your pelvic floor. You might even find your eyes start to close here. If you get a little impulse to yawn or to swallow, just go with that. Finding our way back into some nice deep breaths. Notice if tension's creeping in, just try and relax everything. Take a big sigh. And let's gently release the strap. You can pop that off to one side, won't need that again. Moving the hips to the left this time, walking the feet over to the bottom right. Maybe you hook that left ankle over. Upper body curls as well. You might hold on to the left wrist. Finding your banana shape. Again, let's just take a moment here to just see what comes into our vision now. The different viewpoint that we have here. Maybe there's something that catches your eye. Notice that spreading between the ribs on the left side of the body. See if you can maybe exaggerate it a little bit. Breathe more deeply into that left lung. Take one more breath. And then move the head back into the middle. Bring your feet back up. Again, a little rock and roll of the pelvis or any other little movements. We're going to come up to our seated pose. We're going to take diamond legs, so not butterfly where you draw them in close, but two 90-degree angles. So it's like you've got a diamond shape between your legs, and you can literally just passively forward fold here. This is going to target the outside of the glutes a little bit. I'm going to make a little support for my head with my blocks so that I can make this really lazy. Bringing my forehead down, resting my arms. Just let your back find a really natural curve. Something that feels super comfortable and not forced. Notice if you're really kind of trying to pull from your low back and try to wind that back a little bit. Let your pelvic floor settle. Just the role of gravity. You know, gravity will gently pull your knees down, and that will give you that stretch for the outer glutes. Relax your shoulders, maybe a little tuck of the chin. And here you might have your eyes open or closed. You might start to tune into some of your other senses here. You could use your hands to give your feet a little bit of a rub, a bit of gentle pressure, taking some of that proprioception into the soles of the feet. You might notice the texture of the blocks and the sense of pressing your head down on them. You might feel the texture of the mat underneath your fingertips, maybe any clothes that you're wearing. Noticing the sense of the clothes against your skin, your body, where the fabric stretches across your back, say. Maybe there's a bit of a breeze on any areas of bare skin. Even just that light stretch in your glutes, the pressure of your pelvis down towards the mat. Maybe you notice anything that you can smell now. Maybe you're
washing powder in your clothes. If your blocks or your mat have a particular scent, maybe you can pick up some smells around you in the room around you. Noticing any lingering tastes in your mouth from the last thing that you ate or drank. You try and deepen your breath here. Feel that expansion into the back of the body, the rib cage expanding. A little stretching across the fascia of the back body. Sense of your head getting heavier on your support. To come out of this one, really press your hands down and walk yourself back upright. And take a little twist to either side just to loosen up through your spine. And then our last pose, we do a half hero with the supported fish. You have the option to just do the supported fish, leave the legs out, or to just do the half hero without the supported fish. So I'll demonstrate. We're just going to bring, if you want to do the half hero, your right shin to the outside of your right hip, little tuck of the pelvis, and then bringing one block underneath kind of mid-back, base of your ribs, your scapula. And I'm going to do the other block on its higher level to make this like nice and comfy. So I've just got a slight expansion across the chest here. And then I stretch down the quad. So you could just do, the quad and stay sitting up or resting on your forearms, or you could just have your legs nice and long here and just do the supported fish and open your chest. You don't have to do both. I'm going to put my left foot pressing against the inside of my right thigh because I find that a really comfortable modification. But that foot could also be flat on the ground. It could be nice and long away from you. And the nice thing about this fish is, gosh, you just get this big expansion across the whole of the ribs at the front. So for me, this is a moment just to really tune into the experience of the pose. Just to feel how as the diaphragm expands, everything opens up. I feel that gentle press around my ribs and that nice stretch down the front of my quads. My quads are always tight from walking with Monty, so I kind of love this pose. I know it's not comfortable for everyone's knees. And this is also a moment as you're tuning into the body to also try and bring that sensory awareness all together. So maybe we can start to hold what you can see, what you can hear, what you can feel in your body, around your body, what you can smell and taste all at the same time. We're just going to gently change sides. So just lift up enough to bring that leg out. Maybe give it a bit of a wiggle. Change the other side. You'll need to retuck the pelvis and maybe move the blocks a little bit. Oh, there we go. Coming back, noticing if your mind drifted a little bit there. Can you bring it back to this change of sensations in the body, the breath, the sounds around you, what you can see, what you can feel. You can smell, taste. Your last few breaths. We'll gently lift up, bring your legs out, move the blocks out the way. And I'm actually going to come down, I think, on my front here. So you could settle down on your back, maybe on your side. I just feel like coming down on my front, forehead onto my hand, a little wiggle of the hips wherever you end up. And then just getting super comfy wherever you've landed and taking, a couple of minutes if you can, just to be still and to notice what has shifted and changed for you through the practice. So really turning towards interoception, noticing the little sensations in the body from the aftermath of the stretches. So maybe it's the heat or warmth from the circulation, maybe it's little feelings of openness or spacious, some tingles, maybe there's a little bit of an ache as well if you've managed to kind of wake up certain muscles and they're saying they want a bit more. Just observing without judgment. You don't need to label anything as good or bad. We're just simply noticing how the body has responded to this practice. And when you're ready, just take your time and come back out and see how your day progresses from this practice. Thanks so much for being here, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. See you again soon.